In this video, I'll walk you through how I use Brevo's landing page builder to create a high converting landing page for my online dog training business. So this is the landing page I'll show you how to create with the email marketing tool Brevo. And on this page, I offer a free puppy socialization checklist, as you can see. So I give away this checklist in return for an email address, and then they can download the checklist for free. So step by step, I'll demonstrate exactly how I set this up. So offering free giveaways through landing pages and sign-up forms has been a game changer for my own business. So my online dog training business, helping me generate nearly $1 million in sales from my self-published books, online dog training courses, and more. So if you're new to Brevo and would like to try it out, please use my link to sign up for Brevo for a free Brevo account. And if you do, I'll give you free access to my Brevo University. So in the Brevo University, I'll show you step by step how to use Brevo and how to get the most out of Brevo. All the details are in the description of this video. So first, to create a landing page with Brevo, you have to be on the business tier. So the free and the starter tier, as you can see in the details over here, they don't offer the landing page feature. So let's get started. But before we create our landing page with Brevo, we need to set up an email list specifically for the landing page we're creating. So the reason we're creating a separate email list for each landing page we create is that if we want to start an automation triggered by the people who join the list through that specific landing page, we have to use the list trigger in the automation. So if we go to automation, sadly there's no trigger where we can select a specific landing page. You can use forms, so a sign-up form, but there is no option for a landing page, sadly. So we have to use the list as the trigger. So as you can see over here, and I'll show you how to do this as well later on in the tutorial. But just so you know, you have to create a list first for that particular landing page we're creating. So here is what I do. I go to contacts and then I go to list, and then I would advise you to create a new folder. So click on create a new folder. And then name your folder something like this. So landing page submission list. Then you click on create folder. So next I click on create a list, and I will call this list something like this. So landing page 1, the puppy socialization checklist. Then I select the folder where I want to add that list to. And then I click on create the list. So now that we created our list where we add our new subscribers to, we can move on to the next step, and that is setting up the landing page. So to create a new landing page, you're gonna click on contacts, and then you're gonna click on landing pages, and then click on create a landing page. So as you can see on the left hand side, you can browse the different template categories. So the lead gen templates or ebook templates. So if we click all, you can see there are 16 different pre-designed templates. However, I usually prefer a very minimal design to ensure the call to action is clear and placed right at the top of the page. So that's why I choose the start from scratch option. So I'm going to click on get started. So I will now click on create new page preferences. So I will name my page the puppy socialization checklist. So as you can see here, you can also change the font for the text on your landing page. So for the font, I'm going to go with Poppins. So I'm going to click on Poppins. So and for the font weight, I will go with semi-bold 600. So the rest of the font settings over here, I'll keep at default. So the only thing I will change is the font family name, and I will change this all to Poppins. So as you can see, I've now changed all the font styles to Poppins, and then I'm gonna click on buttons. So for the call to action button, I will change the color to green. So I'll click here on the color and I'll choose the green color. And as you can see, we are a bit restricted since we can only choose one of these 6 colors and cannot change the color code. But anyway, I will choose the green color. And here I will also change the font family to Poppins, so Poppins. And then we have links, and I'll keep the link colors at default. So to make sure to save my settings, I'm gonna click on save my preferences. Next we have the brand logo. I'm gonna click on it. And here I'll upload my website logo. I'm gonna click on select a file from your computer. So I uploaded my logo. And the rest of these settings you see over here, we'll get to that later when the landing page is ready to be published. So we get to that later on in the tutorial. So for now, we're ready with these initial settings. So I'm going to click on Save My Preferences. And for the preferences name, I'm just going to use my own name, Robin. I'm going to click on Save Preferences. And then I'm going to click on Done. So the first thing I will now do is add a header to our landing page. So it is a totally blank page, as you can see. So I'm going to click on Select a pre-made header. So I'll choose the most basic option. So I'll go with the only with the logo. So I'm going to click on Add This Section. And as you can see, my logo is now already imported into the header. So I will align the logo in the middle of the landing page. And next I want to add a background color to the header. So I'm going to click here on the header and then I'm going to select the background color. And if you know an exact color code you want to add to your header, you can do that here by clicking on Add a Color. So I'm gonna click here on Add Color, and over here I'm gonna select the color code. So this is the color code I want to use. I'm gonna click on Save. So next I'm gonna click on Elements to add a header text element to the page. So this is the text element. I'm gonna click on it and I'm gonna drag it onto the landing page builder. And then for the font style, I'm gonna use the title font style. And then for the actual text, I'm gonna use something like this. So download my free Poppy socialization checklist. And it's very easy to change. As you can see, you can just drag and drop the text element. So if you click over here, you can also adjust where you want to place this text element on the landing page. So what I'll do, I'll make this a little bit smaller, and I'm also gonna select all the text and I'm gonna say align center. And then I'm gonna make this one a little bit smaller as well. I'm gonna make it move up a little bit more, something like this, something a little bit more to the left. And now it's fine. So next I'll add an image of the socialization checklist so people can get a better idea of what it looks like they try to download here. So to do that, I'm gonna click on Elements, and this is the image element. I'm gonna click on it and I'm gonna drag it onto the page. So I'm gonna change the order a little bit. I'm gonna move this actually a little bit to the left so the image can be here on the right. Then I'm gonna click here on the image and I'm gonna click here to add an image to the landing page. I'm gonna select the file from my computer. So this is the image. I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger, something like this. Move it a little bit to the right, make this a little bit smaller, just so it fits perfectly into the borders of the image block. I'm gonna make it move a little bit more to the right again. Then I want this title to be on the left of the image. So I need to make it a little bit smaller, as you can see, something like this. We can fit it perfectly next to the image, something like this, a little bit more bigger. So as you can see, it's very easy to make the page look clean and professional, since you can simply drag and arrange the elements the way you want it to look on this landing page. So the next thing we're gonna add is another element. So I'm gonna click over here and then click on Elements again. And now we're gonna add a sign up form element to the page so people can actually download the checklist by entering their email address. So this is the sign up form element. So I'm gonna click on it and I'm gonna drag it onto the landing page. So somewhere around here. So I'm gonna click on Edit Form, and I only want to use the email address. So I'm gonna remove the SMS number field from this form. So I'm gonna click on Delete and I'm gonna click on Confirm. So for the email field, I wanna remove this label at the top over here. So I'll do this by clicking on the email field, and then I'm gonna disable the label field. And now that label is gone. And then I'm gonna change this label field. So this field over here, I'm gonna change that to something like this. So enter your email address. And then we have the call to action button. Now it says call to action. And I'm gonna change that by clicking on the button. And I'm gonna change this text from call to action to something like this. So download checklist. So next I'm gonna click on edit the form again. And we're gonna go back to manage field. And the first thing we have to do now is we have to select a list, because this is the list where subscribers will be added to when they submit their email address in this form on the landing page. So we have to go to manage field, and first we have to select a folder where that list is located. So in my case, this is the folder, so landing page submission list. So I'm gonna click on it, and then I'm gonna go to manage list. And over here, I'm gonna select the contact list. So I'm gonna click here on this field, and then I'm gonna select this landing page list we created in the beginning of this tutorial. So the landing page 1, the puppy socialization checklist. So if you haven't seen the beginning of this tutorial, I explained that it's best practice for the Brevo landing page builder to first create a list for your particular landing page. So make sure this list is only meant for this particular landing page. So I'm going to select this list, and now we're going to continue to the redirect options. So I'm going to click here, redirect options, and here we configure the redirect options for this form so users are taken to the appropriate page after they submit their information, so after they submit their email address. So you can see the default settings is the thank you page it automatically created for us. So you can also link to a specific URL, to a different URL, an external URL, but you can also use a page in the funnel. So the default thank you page, so when someone enters their email address, they click on the download button, then the next page they will see is the thank you page Brevo automatically created for us. So to view or edit that specific thank you page, you're gonna click on pages over here. So the page we're currently working on is called the index page, and this is the thank you page. So if we click on the thank you page, you see that the current thank you page is just a blank page. And what I'll do is I'll add 2 text elements to this page. So I'm gonna click on elements, click on this text element, and I'm gonna drag it onto the page. And I'm gonna add another text element to this page. So another time text element, I'm gonna drag it onto the page below the other one. So for the first text element, I'm gonna select the title style. So I'm gonna select the title style. And for the actual content, I'm gonna use this text over here. Please check your email. So I don't think the style is properly set. So I'm gonna click on style again. I'm gonna click on title. And now, as you can see, it has the title tag. So I'm going to drag this text a little bit to the left, and I'll make it a little bit wider. And I'm going to make sure it's placed properly in the middle of the screen. I'm going to drag this a little bit more to the top, so it perfectly fits inside this container. Similar here. I'm going to drag this more to the top, and I'm going to make sure the width is the same as the title tag. And for that text, I'm going to use something like this. So within 60 seconds, you'll receive an email, and in that email, you'll find the free download. I'll move it up a little bit more, something like this. So now I'll go back to pages, and I'm going to go back to the main page and continue editing the sign up form. So I'm going to click on index, and I'm going to click on edit form. So next up, we have the double opt-in settings. So I'm going to click here on double opt-in. So we have 2 options, the single opt-in and the double opt-in. So we're going to go with the single opt-in, and that means that whenever someone submits their email address in this field, they will be automatically added to our email list. So then we have design, and I'll keep these settings at default. Similar to spacing, I'll keep those settings as default as well. Then we have form submission controls. I'll keep those at default as well. And then lastly, there's style, and I'll keep that as default too. So next we have to make sure the mobile version of our landing page also looks clean, similar to the desktop version. So I'll click here on mobile, and as you can see, the image is basically on top of the text, so it doesn't look that good. So we have to adjust it a little bit, and you can simply do that by dragging the elements around on the page. So I'm gonna move this a little bit more down so the image has a little bit more space. We can also make this image a little bit smaller, or maybe it's even better to add the sign up form above the image. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move this image a little bit more down, so the sign up form has more space, so something like this. And also I found the logo on the mobile version a little bit too big, so I'll make it a little bit smaller, something like this. And then if we click here on the header element, so if I click here and then go to spacing, we can also remove the padding of the header. So it is a little bit smaller. So for padding, we're gonna choose the extra small option, something like this. And now let's take a look at the desktop version. And as you can see, the changes we just made to the mobile version is only for mobile. So that's pretty nice. So I'm going to make this one a little bit wider, actually, something like this. And I'm going to give it a little bit space for the image here. So next we have the footer. So we didn't add a footer yet to our landing page. So I'll start with a pre-made footer. So select pre-made footer. And just as with the header, I'm going to choose with a really basic option. So I'll choose the first option over here. So the logo and social media links. So I'm going to click on add this section. And now as you can see, the footer is added to our landing page. So the first thing I'll do is edit the date over here. So I'm going to click on edit text, and I'm going to edit the date to the current year. Next, I'll make the logo a little bit smaller, so it's a little bit big, something like this. And then to add the correct links to your social media icons, you're going to click on it. And then over here, you can add the correct link. And similar to the text at the bottom over here, so we have the privacy policy and the terms and conditions. You can select that text, and then over here you can insert a link for the correct privacy policy on your website. Obviously, if you don't want to use this text, you can delete it as well. You can just gonna click the right mouse button and then you can click delete. So next, I'm also gonna match the footer color with the header color. So I'm gonna click here on the footer, and then I'm gonna say the background color, and I'm gonna use the same yellow color. So next I'm gonna change the text colors of the text elements and the icons over here. So I'm gonna click on it, I'm gonna select the text, I'm gonna click on text color, and I'm gonna use the black option. Similar here, double click, select the text, change the text color. Similar with icons, I'm gonna click on it, I'm gonna use the black option for the foreground. Similar here with Instagram. Next, I'm gonna click on the footer again, and I'm gonna give it a little bit more spacing. So I'm gonna use the XL option for padding and margin, so the footer has a little bit more space. And by the way, if you want to have a look at how your landing page looks, so you can click on preview over here, and here you get a better view of how your landing page looks. And to go back, you click on exit preview mode. So, and similar to before, we now also have to check the footer on mobile. So I'm going to click on mobile over here, and as you can see, you may want to adjust the elements of the footer on mobile. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to select this text, I'm going to move it below the logo, I'm gonna make it a little bit wider. I'll make sure it's somewhere in the middle here, so below the logo. So I'm gonna add those social media icons below the logo. So something like this. So let's go back to desktop to make sure it looks good. So everything looks fine. So now we are ready to launch our landing page. So I will now click on the launch button at the top right corner over here, and I will click on the publish now button. And as you can see over here, now you get this landing page URL by Brevo. So if we open our landing page, you can see our landing page. So this is the URL Brevo gave us. And in my opinion, this URL obviously doesn't look the best. So I would suggest using a custom domain. So to show you how it works with a custom domain, so here you have the option to use a custom domain. So to show you how that works. So I'm using this as an example for the custom domain I'm using. So keep in mind that it cannot be something like this, so only this. So you have to add something in front of it, which is called the subdomain. So it can be this, for example, or this, but you have to add something in front of your domain. So when you are ready, you're gonna click on connect, and then over here it says that we have to add 2 new DNS records to our DNS settings. So depending on what hosting you use for your domain, it obviously all looks different, setting up those DNS records. And once you've added these 2 DNS records to your DNS settings, you can click on verify. So keep in mind, so the first one has to be a text type, and then the second one has to be a CNAME type. And for this, you just copy it and paste it into your DNS records tab. Similar here, just copy and paste it. Don't change anything, just copy what it says over here, and then it works. So if you click on verify, so if it's properly set up, it says domain successfully linked. So maybe in your case, when you clicked verify, it's possible you see a message indicating something along the lines of that the DNS isn't properly set up, so maybe it wasn't found. So this might happen because the DNS settings haven't been updated yet. So that's one option. So it can take up to 48 hours for DNS changes to change. But in most cases, in my experience, it updates within a few minutes. So if it doesn't work within a few minutes, it could mean you're not updating the correct DNS settings in the correct place. So for example, not with the correct hosting provider. I've made that mistake as well in the past. Anyway, if you now visit this URL, so instead of this URL, you'll see that you also have access to that same landing page. So once you're done with the custom domain, I'm gonna go back to the landing page builder, and I'm do that by clicking here on the top left corner here. So now our landing page is ready. We're gonna go back to change some settings over here. So I'm gonna go to settings, and the first thing we're gonna add is a favicon. So if you go to your website, you'll see that you don't have a favicon installed yet. So if you don't have a favicon, you can also go to this website over here and just use one of their emojis. So that's what I did. I just uploaded this picture over here. So this emoji, I uploaded it to my WordPress blog, and then you can copy the URL over here. You're gonna go back to Brevo, and then you can just paste in that URL. And then you're going to click on done. To check whether it's working, you have to relaunch your website. So you're going to click on launch and then republish the website. So republish. And then if you refresh this page, now you'll see the favicon is updated. And while we're on the topic of the favicons, as you can see over here, this is the page title of your landing page. So it currently is called index. So to change that to something more relevant, we're going to go back to our Brevo page over here, and we're going to click on pages, and I'm going to click on this settings icon of the index page. So that is our home page, that is this page, and here we can change the page name. So I'm going to change that page name to something like this, so the free Poppy socialization checklist. And then over here we have a setting which allows search engines to crawl this page. So if you want this landing page to be indexed by Google, you have to enable this setting. And if you do, I do advise you to add an SEO description as well. So in my case, I'm not going to allow this page to be indexed by Google, so I'm just going to click on save here. And now if I relaunch my page, so republish, and if we refresh this page, now you'll see the page name is updated as well. So the last step is to send the free checklist to our new subscribers, and we do that by using Brevo's automation tools. So I'm going to exit the landing page builder by clicking exit at the top right corner. I'm going to click on leave, and I'm going to go to automations. I'm going to click on create a new automation, and I'm going to use the new editor. And then for the trigger, I'm going to use contact is added to a list. So I'm going to drag that onto the automation builder. And then for list, I'm going to choose the list we selected inside the landing page builder, which is this list. So landing page 1, the Poppy socialization checklist. I'm going to click on save. And then for actions, I'm going to send an email. So I'm going to click here on send an email, and I'm going to drag it onto the automation builder. And then I'm going to select a template. I'm going to click on select a template. So you can click on start from scratch if you want to create a new email. But in my case, I already created the email. So I'm going to click on use. And as you can see, this text says download your free checklist now. So if I click right mouse button, you'll see we can open this link in a new tab. And this is a Google Drive link. So I added that Poppy socialization checklist to my Google Drive file so we can share it with others. And you have to make sure, if you click on this share icon over here, you have to make sure that the setting is on anyone with the link can view your file. And the reason we have to upload that file to Google Drive is because Brevo sadly doesn't allow us to upload a PDF document, so in this case a PDF document, to their servers. So we have to host it somewhere else. And I used Google Drive for that. So once you're ready, you're going to click on use this design in automation. And then over here, you're going to click on save. And then you're going to click on activate automation. Activate automation. So now whenever someone enters their email address in this sign up form on our landing page, they will be added to that list, and that list will be triggered by that automation, and therefore they will receive an email with the free checklist.